All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. External Affairs Ministry says over 300 Indians evacuated from Afghanistan been repatriated to India. Former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Kalyan Singh passes away. President, Vice President, Prime Minister and several leaders express grief. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 58 crore mark. Recovery rate stands at 97.54%. Zydus Cadila gets approval of DNA COVID-19 3-dose vaccine for emergency use for children in the country. Ganga Expressway project of Uttar Pradesh receives sanctioned loan of 5,100 crore rupees. Assam to start rolling out benefits under One Nation, One Ration scheme from tomorrow. Raksha Bandhan been celebrated across the country today. And in sports, Amit Khatri bagged silver medal in the men's 10,000 meter race walk at the World Athletic Under-20 Championships. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise the young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise the listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact National Helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. External Affairs Ministry has said that over 300 Indians evacuated from Afghanistan have been repatriated to India. The first batch of 135 Indians who were evacuated from Afghanistan's Kabul to Doha over the past days were repatriated to India last night. Indian Embassy in Doha, Qatar provided consular and logistics assistance to ensure the safe return. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said in a tweet that an Air India flight carrying 87 Indians departed from Tajikistan for New Delhi last night. 2 Nepalese nationals were also evacuated. He said this process was assisted and supported by Indian Embassy in Dushanbe. Mr. Bagchi added that more evacuation flights will follow. The spokesperson also said that an IAF special repatriation flight with 168 passengers on board, including 107 Indian nationals, is on its way to Delhi from Kabul. Hundreds of Indian nationals have to be evacuated from Kabul, which is now under Taliban's control. India is airlifting its nationals through Dushanbe to Tajikistan and Qatar. Indian Air Force has already evacuated around 180 passengers, including its ambassador to Afghanistan. External Affairs Ministry has urged all Indian nationals in Afghanistan requiring assistance to contact the Special Afghanistan Cell immediately. It set up the Special Afghanistan Cell to coordinate repatriation and other requests from Afghanistan. Former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh Kalyan Singh passed away in Lucknow last night. He was 89 and was in a hospital for the last few weeks. He breathed his last at SGPGI Hospital, Lucknow. His last rites will be performed tomorrow at Narora Ghat in Bulandshahr district. Singh was former governor of Rajasthan and Himachal Pradesh. He was a 2-time MP from Bulandshahr and Etah also. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath reached Lucknow, leaving his Gorakhpur visit in the middle. An emergency meeting of State Cabinet was called at midnight. The Cabinet condoled the death of 2-time CM and 9-time Assembly member. The Chief Minister announced a 3-day government mourning in the state and a holiday tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other senior BJP leaders have expressed their grief over the demise of Kalyan Singh. In a tweet, President said that Kalyan Singh had a magical connect with the masses. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said Kalyan Singh was a nationalist and an exemplary leader who was deeply committed to serving people. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said Kalyan Singh was a statesman, veteran administrator, grassroots-level leader and great human. He also spoke to his son Rajveer Singh and expressed condolences. A report.
Born in Aligarh district of Western Uttar Pradesh, Kalyan Singh became instrumental in the formation of first BJP government in the Hindi heartland in 1991, and Saffron Party rewarded him with Chief Minister post. He again became Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh in 1997, but differences appeared between him and senior party leaders including Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Later he parted ways with the party and formed his own Rashtriya Kranti Party. He came back to party's fold in 2004 again, but left the BJP in 2009 and entered in alliance with his arch-rival Mulayam Singh Yadav of the Samajwadi Party. He again joined BJP and became governor of Rajasthan, a post he held for 5 years till September 2019. In September 2020, a CBI court acquitted him and 32 others in the long-standing case of Babri Mosque demolition, which was a big movement for Kalyan Singh. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In a significant achievement, India's cumulative COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed the 58 crore mark. Union Health Ministry said more than 45 crore vaccine doses have been administered as first dose and over 13 crore vaccine doses given as second doses so far. The new phase of universalization of COVID-19 vaccination commenced from 21st of June this year. The ministry said more than 43,92,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. Meanwhile, the recovery rate in the country stands at 97.54% and it is the highest since March last year. India reported over 34,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. Till now, 4,33,964 people have lost their lives in the pandemic. The Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, CDSCO, has approved DNA COVID-19 3-dose vaccine Zycov-D of Cadila Healthcare for restricted use in emergency situation in India for those aged 12 years and above. It was approved after evaluation of interim phase 3 clinical trial results in consultation with subject expert committee of CDSCO. The vaccine has an efficacy of 66.6% and it is to be stored at 2 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius. The vaccine is needle-free to be administered intradermally in 3 doses at day 0, 28 and 56. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India is fighting COVID-19 with full vigor and the approval for world's first DNA-based Zycov-D vaccine of Zydus Cadila is a testimony to the innovative zeal of India's scientists. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "It is a momentous feat indeed." Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia said, "Double good news for the nation as CDSCO approves the first DNA-based needle-free COVID-19 vaccine in the world, Zycov-D of Zydus Cadila."
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has announced that restrictions on timings to open markets amid COVID-19 in the national capital have been lifted from Monday and markets will be allowed to function as per normal timings. In a tweet, Mr. Kejriwal said earlier the government had allowed markets to remain open only till 8 p.m. He said as the COVID cases are coming down, the new relaxations will be effective from next week. Tamil Nadu has registered 1,652 COVID cases on Saturday. 1,859 COVID patients were discharged after recovery. A total of 23 deaths were registered. Number of active cases in the state was 19,621. 1,59,213 samples were tested through RT-PCR. The state government yesterday decided to extend COVID-19 restrictions till 6th September. However, colleges and schools will be reopened from 1st of September. Students of classes from 9th to 12th standard will be allowed to attend classes on a rotational basis. Reopening of schools for 1st standard to 8th standard will be decided on 15th September.
The National Thermal Power Corporation NTPC Limited has commissioned the largest floating solar PV project of 25 megawatt on the reservoir of its Simhadri thermal station in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. This is also the first solar project to be set up under the flexibilization scheme notified by the Government of India in 2018. The Power Ministry said the floating solar installation has a unique anchoring design which is spread over 75 acres. This floating solar project has the potential to generate electricity from more than 1 lakh solar PV modules. The Central Board of Direct Taxes (CBDT) has issued refunds of over 49,696 crore rupees to more than 22,75,000 taxpayers between the 1st of April to the 16th of August this year. In a tweet, Income Tax India said income tax refunds of 14,608 crore rupees have been issued in over 21,50,000 cases, and corporate tax refunds of 35,088 crore rupees have been issued in over 1,24,000 cases.
Indian startups got $16.9 billion of venture capital funding in 2021 according to leading data and analytics company Global Data. The company said despite the third wave of COVID-19 pandemic looming large and slow economic recovery, venture capital investors seem to be reposing faith in the Indian startup ecosystem. An analysis of Global Data's financial deals database reveals that a total of 828 VC funding deals were announced in India during January to July 2021.
You are listening to the morning news in All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. External Affairs Ministry says over 300 Indians evacuated from Afghanistan being repatriated to India. Former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Kalyan Singh passes away. President, Vice President, Prime Minister and several leaders express grief. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 58 crore mark. Recovery rate stands at 97.54%. Zydus Cadila gets approval of DNA COVID-19 3-dose vaccine for emergency use for children in the country. Ganga Expressway project of Uttar Pradesh receives sanctioned loan of 5,100 crore rupees. Assam to start rolling out benefits under One Nation, One Ration scheme from tomorrow. Raksha Bandhan being celebrated across the country today. And in sport, Amit Khatri bagged silver medal in men's 10,000-meter race walk at World Athletic Under-20 Championships. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
भारत के स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में अनगिनत स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों ने अपने प्राणों की आहुति दी. कुछ इतिहास में अमर हो गए और कई गुमनाम. आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के अंतर्गत 75 कड़ियों की श्रृंखला में हम उन वीरांगनाओं की बात करेंगे जिनका योगदान कभी भुलाया नहीं जा सकता. प्रत्येक मंगलवार परिक्रमा में सुनिए अपराजिता, देश की वीरांगनाओं को आकाशवाणी का सादर नमन.
Welcome back. You are listening to the morning news. Union Finance Minister Narendra has stressed on infrastructural development in the country. She was speaking on the occasion of transferring of loan of rupees 5,100 crore sanctioned by Punjab National Bank for Ganga Expressway construction in Uttar Pradesh yesterday. The Finance Minister said that Union government under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has always planned provisions in Union budget for the development and infrastructure sector in the country. She said if some states do not come forward to implement and utilize it, the country cannot be benefited. Finance Minister said that Ganga Expressway will not only ease the connectivity between the places, but it will be very much helpful in states' ODOP-like schemes and defense corridor.
आने वाले दिन में ये एक्सप्रेसवे बनाने के बाद उस एक्सप्रेसवे में इस डेस्टिनेशन से उस तक जाने का सिर्फ विषय नहीं है, दोनों साइड पर बिजनेसेस भी चलेंगे. ये वन डिस्ट्रिक्ट वन प्रोडक्ट का भी और ये नोडल डिफेंस कॉरिडोर का भी, और जहां मैं विदाउट एग्जैजरेशन बोल पाऊंगी पिछले 70 इयर्स में जितना धीरे 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 दशकों से होने वाले इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को पिछले 4-5 साल में ही बनाकर दिखाने के लिए एक साहस उत्तर प्रदेश दिखाई है.
Speaking on the occasion, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said, that the Ganga Expressway will be backbone of the state's economy. Assam will start rolling out benefits under One Nation, One Ration Card ONORC scheme from tomorrow. State's Food, Civil Supply and Consumer Affairs Minister Ranjit Kumar Das said that over 2 crore 50 lakh families would be benefited under this scheme. The minister urged the beneficiaries to come forward and get their ration cards linked with the Aadhaar. Talking to newspersons in Guwahati, he said, without the seeding, they will not be eligible to get food grains and other items under ONORC. Mr. Das said Aadhaar seeding of ration cards of only 10.7% beneficiaries and 28.3% ration cards have been completed in the state so far.
Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has said that the country is heading towards becoming Atmanirbhar in every field under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Union Railway Information Technology and Communication Minister, who is on a 4-day visit to Odisha in connection with the Jan Ashirwad Yatra, said the main purpose behind the Yatra is to expedite the development of the remote areas of the state. We have more from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
The minister, currently visiting a host of southern and backward districts of Odisha like Raigada, Koraput, Navrangpur and Kalahanti, has reviewed a number of railway projects concerning these remote districts that include Jaipur-Malkangiri, Jaipur-Navrangpur and Therubali-Gunpur railway line. Stressing upon the early completion of these projects, the Rail Minister Mr. Vaishnav said that better rail connectivity will positively impact the overall development of these areas and will help create more employment opportunities. While visiting these remote and tribal areas of the state, besides attending a number of public functions and meeting a number of beneficiaries of the central government scheme, Mr. Vaishnav took time off to have a test of the lifestyle of the common people. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
The Jammu and Kashmir administration has sanctioned 25 canals of land in favor of Sri Amarnath Ji Shrine Board, SASB in Srinagar for construction of a Yatri Niwas on lease for 40 years. According to an order issued by the Revenue Department yesterday, the annual rent of the Yatri Niwas will be 250 rupees. The new facility coming up at Pantha Chowk in the outskirts of Srinagar city will be built in 18 months and will accommodate more than 3,000 Amarnath pilgrims. The Deputy Commissioner of Srinagar has been directed to sign the lease agreement on behalf of the government with the Shrine Board. Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha on 6th of this month had laid foundation stone for the Yatri Niwas, an office of Sri Amarnath Ji Shrine Board. As the nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events have been organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz will be conducted on every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news till 15th of August 2022. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with the listeners tomorrow. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News.
Azadi Ka Safar every day with All India Radio from Monday the 16th of August. As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, News Services Division of All India Radio brings to you the story of glorious struggle and sacrifices of freedom fighters on 100.1 FM Gold channel in the English news bulletins at 8:30 a.m., 2 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Stay tuned.
Now let's listen to a special program, Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. Every day, AIR News brings you glimpses of the valiant struggle. In today's episode, we will talk about Bikaji Cama, Kosabai Patel and Shoaibullah Khan.
On this day in 1907, Madam Bikaji Cama raised India's first national flag at Second International Socialist Conference at Stuttgart in Germany. Bikaji Cama was born on September 24, 1861 in an influential Parsi family. An outstanding lady of great courage, integrity and passion for freedom. Bikaji spent most of her time in social work. Madam Kama's intense love for nation made her sacrifice her family life and work tirelessly for the cause of the nation. In October 1896, when the Bombay Presidency was hit by famine and shortly thereafter by bubonic plague, Bikaji provided care for the afflicted. In 1905, Madam Kama relocated to Paris, where she co-founded the Paris Indian Society. While living in exile in the Netherlands and Switzerland, Kama wrote and published revolutionary literature for the movement, including Bande Mataram and later Madan's Talwar, which was published in response to the execution of Madan Lal Dhingra. On this day in 1907, Kama attended the Second Socialist Congress at Stuttgart, Germany, where she described the devastating effects of the famine that had struck the Indian subcontinent. In her appeal for human rights, equality, and freedom from the Great Britain, she unfurled what she called the flag of Indian independence. For this act, she came to be known as the Mother of the Indian Revolution. Kama's flag was a modification of the Calcutta flag. It was co-designed by Kama and Vinayak Damodar Savarkar and would later serve as one of the templates from which the current national flag of India was created. Madam Bikaji Kama was a pioneer amongst those who worked for the freedom of the country from abroad. It was her motto to serve humanity and to raise her voice against any exploitation of fellow beings.
Another interesting fact about today is that on this day exactly 100 years ago, in 1921, Gandhiji made a bonfire of foreign clothes during the non-cooperation movement. Gandhiji called for a campaign of non-cooperation with British rule on 31st August 1920. People were asked to adhere to renunciation of all voluntary association with the British government. Thus, people boycotted schools, colleges, courts and withheld the payment of taxes. It was during this non-cooperation movement that people burnt foreign clothes in public. Acts like these clearly sent a message to the British government that their days in India were limited.
On this day, Gosai Bhai Patel, a freedom fighter from Gujarat, snatched away a rifle from British policeman and hit him with the butt of the gun in protest against the killing of 3 nationalists in Matwad. While growing up, though attracted in Gandhian non-violence principle, Gosai Bhai involved in a few violent attacks against British rule. He and his friends successfully attacked a police station and released the captives. He, along with some of his like-minded friends, tried to blow away a railway bridge too, but lack of technological know-how diffused the impact of the explosion.
Patel went on to become a successful politician. He was elected for the Gujarat Assembly thrice. He was also at the helm of Dandi's development. Gosabai became a strong follower of Gandhiism. He has written many books on Gandhiism and was active in social work till the age of 90, despite his failing health. Interestingly enough, on this day in 1639, Madras, now Chennai, was founded by the British East India Company on a sliver of land bought from local Nayak rulers. Later on, Robert Clive built the British Empire from the Madras Presidency. This day, 71 years ago, a patriot and freedom fighter, Shoaibullah Khan, was shot dead on 22nd August 1948 by the Razakars led by Qasim Rizvi. Shoaibullah Khan was the editor of Imroz, the Urdu daily published from Hyderabad. He was in favor of the merger of Hyderabad with the Union of India and opposed Qasim Rizvi's idea of an independent Hyderabad state. On the fateful day, Shoaibullah Khan was shot from behind. Department of Journalism of Osmania University has instituted a gold medal in honor of Mr. Khan for the top student of BCJ.
That is all for today. See you tomorrow with another episode.
Raksha Bandhan, the festival of special bond between brothers and sisters, is being celebrated today across the country. On this occasion, sisters tie colourful rakhi around the wrist of their brothers and pray for their prosperity, health and well-being. In return, brothers pledge to protect and support their sisters and give them gifts. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended his wishes to all the countrymen on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan. India's Amit Khatri has won the silver medal in men's 10,000-meter race walk at the World Athletics U20 Championships in Nairobi. He finished with a time of 42 minutes, 17.94 seconds.
Now let us take a look at the weather today. Srinagar may witness partly cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature was 18 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be nearly 31 degrees. Jammu is forecast to witness partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The maximum temperature will be around 35 degrees, while it recorded 25 degrees Celsius as minimum. Leh may have generally cloudy sky. Minimum temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 11 degrees Celsius. Gilgit is likely to have partly clear sky. The maximum temperature may rise up to 36 degrees Celsius. It noted a lower limit of 16 degrees. Muzaffarabad is forecast to witness partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards evening or night. Temperature will hover between 22 and 38 degrees Celsius. The national capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. It recorded 24 degrees Celsius as minimum temperature, while maximum will be around 33 degrees. Mumbai is forecast to have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum and maximum temperature will hover between 24 and 29 degrees Celsius. Chennai is likely to witness generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Temperature will vary between 27 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The minimum temperature in the city was 27 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. Hyderabad will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature is 23 degrees Celsius, while the maximum may go up to 31 degrees Celsius. Bangalore is expected to witness partly cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperature will hover between 21 and 28 degrees Celsius. And Guwahati may have generally cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature was around 27 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. All the papers today take note of the news of 300 Indian nationals who are set to return from Kabul today. The Sunday Tribune reports, released from custody of Taliban, 150 Indian nationals to be evacuated today. Taliban's Baradar in Kabul for talks on setting up a government, informs the Asian Age. The passing away of former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Kalyan Singh is also noticed by papers this morning. Architect of Ram Janmabhoomi movement breathes his last, writes a Sunday Pioneer. Blending Mandal and Kamandal, he rose like a NATO to fade like one, notes the Sunday Express. Zydus to roll out its vaccine in September, leads the Hindustan Times. Lalu faces tough test as sons fed over RJD, reports the Hindu. The Sunday Times writes, markets to revert to usual timings in the city. The Pioneer quotes Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal as saying curbs being removed from Monday as cases dip. And finally, pandemic takeaway for restaurants. Home delivery is here to stay. Well, Financial Express reports that a survey reveals that consumers will prefer safer option of eating at home.
In some more news, Indian Railways will train 3,500 unemployed youths from next month under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana PMKVY. The employment training of these 3,500 individuals will be organized by the Northern Railway and will take place over the next 3 years. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. External Affairs Ministry says over 300 Indians evacuated from Afghanistan been repatriated to India. Former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Kalyan Singh passes away. President, Vice President, Prime Minister and several leaders express grief. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 58 crore mark. Recovery rate stands at 97.54%. Zydus Cadila gets approval of DNA COVID-19 3-dose vaccine for emergency use for children in the country. Ganga Expressway project of Uttar Pradesh receives sanction loan of 5,100 crore rupees. Assam to start rolling out benefits under One Nation, One Ration scheme from tomorrow. Raksha Bandhan been celebrated across the country today. And in sports, Amit Khatri bagged silver medal in the men's 10,000-meter race walk at the World Athletic Under-20 Championships. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.